Hi, welcome back to Into the Cina-Verse, and this is part two of our review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If you haven't seen part one yet, please go back and see part one. We talk about the plot, we talk about the characters, we talk about muffins and cupcakes.
Muffins.
In this video, we're going to talk about some Easter eggs and
Yes.
an emphasis on some because there are so many.
Yeah, we're not going to do all of them.
I've seen a lot of videos, they explain over 100 Easter eggs.
I can't do this all day.
So I practically got 6 or 7. I think not the most important, but maybe the most fun to talk about Easter eggs. We'll talk about even the post-credit scene and our future predictions. So let's get into the Easter egg. First Easter egg, Earth 616. It's official, it's Earth 616. That's the main MCU Earth storyline.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, in the comics, Earth 616 is the main Marvel storyline. Mysterio in Far From Home, he's from Earth 833, which was a lie. And he labeled the Earth he was on
616.
616. They did it just as an Easter egg. But the thing is, like, Mysterio somehow got it right. He was lucky. Baxter Foundation. Christine Palmer says Baxter Foundation when she's talking to Doctor Strange on Earth 838.
Yeah.
So Baxter Foundation, it's practically, at that moment I knew, okay, I didn't know that Reed Richards was going to appear in that film. But it was a reference to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because technically I think it's his
Reed
where he
Richards
worked.
is the owner of the Baxter Foundation, who is the owner of the Baxter Tower.
Yeah.
The headquarters of the Fantastic Four. Which it's also a fan theory that Stark Tower is going to become the Baxter building. Incursions. Alright. So this is going to be a very simple explanation. You know what an incursion is? They explained this in the film. I'll explain. So an incursion is when two Earths collide into one another.
Okay.
Either one prevails to be the dominant Earth or both die. Incursion, it's a really big Easter egg. And what is going to happen in the future. We'll explain that in the post-credit scene. But we just wanted to explain what an incursion is.
Yeah.
If I did a good job, I don't know.
I understood it, so...
If you understood it, everyone understood it.
Exactly, I'm an idiot. This is why I do this.
Moving on to Kang the Conqueror. So Kang, you know who Kang is. Kang, we saw him in the season finale for Loki. Kang is practically this time-traveling supervillain. And the Easter egg of Kang is because he's actually a descendant of Reed Richards. Reed Richards and Sue Storm, they have 2 kids.
Okay.
And Kang is from the 31st century. He's a descendant of them. And he's either named Nathaniel or Franklin Richards. I don't know which one is which. I forgot. But practically, the thing is that Kang, when he was younger, he was Iron Lad. But he later on and becomes the supervillain, Kang. So that's practically the Easter egg. So it's a Fantastic Four reference combined with Kang. Professor X, he's the 1997 variant. We mentioned him already when we were talking about Professor X. I think the Professor X we saw in the film is the Professor X that we all saw in the animated show in the 90s.
Can tell by the
he was
yellow
practically the same guy.
Chair.
And there's also an Illuminati 7th member.
Which is?
We don't know because
dun, dun,
the
dun.
thing is there was an empty chair. So the thing is, who is that last
to fill that chair?
member? Is it a Black Panther? Is it Namor? I think it's Iron Man. You know, I have a theory, and that is because they said that Tom Cruise was going to be Iron Man in that film. But more specifically, he was going to be a superior Iron Man, or I don't know what he's called. It's an Iron Man that has control of the Infinity Stones. So he has a silver suit, and the stones are distributed along. I have a fan theory because the Illuminati, they weren't against, it was difficult for them, but it wasn't against them not to kill one of their own when they needed to. They killed their own Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, why wouldn't they kill their own Iron Man? What happened to him? Did they leave his chair like empty as in respect? They replaced Doctor
Whereas
Strange.
maybe he wasn't present and he is still a leader somewhere.
The
They had to take-
screenwriter joked that it was a production mistake and
I
they
don't
didn't buy it. Like
And
those type of
and
mistakes.
Drew did that type of joke. It's not going to work again.
Moving on to the post-credit scene. Now, first time watching, I didn't know who Charlize Theron's character was.
Yeah, same. Until then you told me.
Until I researched it. So practically I saw some videos explaining who Charlize Theron's character is. And practically her name is Clea. In one video, he said that Clea is the daughter of Dormammu. And in another video of a different person, they said that she's the niece of Dormammu. But practically, we can all say that she is related to Dormammu.
I thought it doesn't matter.
And Dormammu is Doctor Strange's biggest villain. The thing is, when she opened the portal or whatever that was,
It's the portal.
she opened it to the dark dimension. It shouldn't have any effect because it exists outside of time and space, so it doesn't have anything to do with incursions. But that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And she mentioned incursions, and this is where we're going to go, not a lot, but into some detail about what the incursion is all about. So practically, as we said before, incursions are when two Earths collide into one another. And we know, if you've seen Loki, that there was at a time a multiverse war. And a multiverse war, they explained it in Loki, there were a lot of incursions. So this could lead to the Battle World storyline. So
I never went into it, but I have
the Battle World storyline is, and this is where I think Marvel is becoming Marvel, man. Like full on Marvel. So practically what happens is in Battle World, several Earths collide. Obviously, several characters from several Earths go to war with one another.
Yeah.
In the comics, it's run by Doctor Doom. Now, within the context of the MCU, they may change it because till now Doctor Doom wasn't really hinted. They could go with Kang.
Or
an evil version of Kang, because the one we saw in Loki, he was a little evil, but he wasn't completely evil. He made a reference to another Kang, which is the evil of most evil Kangs there is. So that Kang could actually be like overseeing Battle World.
Alright.
And he makes all of these different characters from different Earths fight one another for domination. So this is where we could see, like for example, the Avengers fight the X-Men. The Battle World storyline is also where Peter Parker actually gets his first Venom suit. So we could see Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because we saw a little bit of Venom.
Yes.
That little bit of Venom could be transferred to Battle World. Come contact with Peter Parker.
Coming.
It's madness. So when Wanda is in the Sanctum Sanctorum and she starts talking to them, when you dream, you're actually seeing what other selves of the multiverse are doing. Right? And then she said, when you wake up, it's a nightmare. Nightmare is actually a villain of Doctor Strange. He was actually rumored to be the main villain of this film, especially because it was a horror-esque film. That Nightmare, which is one of Doctor Strange's most scariest villains.
It's going to come now. Maybe the next
Maybe.
Doctor Strange.
I really hope that he does, because he's a great villain.
The last thing we're going to talk about is predictions and final readings.
Let me have a breather for a minute. Talk about your predictions.
I think the biggest thing that's going to happen now is that we're going to see the actual multiverse. Now, obviously, we saw different worlds, but we're going to see from the dark realm. So I think we're going to start diving into outside of the multiverse, seeing different multiverses, but from a different point of view. Especially now that we have Clea now, I think that's going to be a great gateway into the multiverse. And I don't have any predictions for who's going to be the villain, who's going to appear as characters. Slowly, I think you mentioned this, we're going to see a small, like, young Avenger kind of thing.
Yeah. Practically, there are some things that you said that I was going to say. I really think, because Scarlet Witch, I don't think she died.
No.
Scarlet Witch, she didn't die. A character that powerful, a character of that caliber isn't going to die like that. And as I mentioned before, Scarlet Witch, she's going to be the birth of the mutants in the MCU. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness there were certain elements taken from the House of M comic storyline, where actually Scarlet Witch goes on a mental breakdown. She has a mental breakdown. Okay. And she says the line, "No more mutants," and she kills every mutant alive. The thing is, I thought that was going to be the opposite in this case. And in this film, she would say, "Let there be more mutants, and mutants will be born," because she's capable of that much of power. But I think she didn't die. I think they will leave this line for maybe the sequel, maybe a Scarlet Witch film, which is set to be in production. So it's a confirmation that she didn't die. She will give birth to mutant kind.
I think that's it for this episode. I don't think we'll have anything else to add.
No, we said a lot. I hope you enjoyed that video. We went into quite a lot of detail, but in a film like Doctor Strange, you can't not go into a certain detail.
Time.
Please comment
and subscribe.
Yeah.
You're very chill about this.
I'm chill. I'm very chill.
I don't know what happened to him today.
I'm just chill, to be honest.
Tell me what you think about muffins.